All right, so for this next problem, we're given the equation x squared minus 18x plus 58 equals 0. So let's write out the steps to completing the square. So to complete the square, step 1, move constant. Now constant's a fancy math word that means what? No variable, no x. So there's a term here that has no x, that's called the constant. Which one is the constant? 58. How do I move a plus 58? So I'm going to subtract 58 from both sides. I get x squared minus 18x, leave yourself a little space, equals negative 58. Step 2, add b divided by 2 squared. What's b? Huh? Did my voice crack? Negative 18. So this is going to be negative 18 divided by 2 squared. What is negative 18 divided by 2? So this whole thing equals 81. So that means I got to come over here and I'm going to add 81 to this side. And I'm going to add 81 to this side. Now, $81 minus 58, I got to plug that in a calculator. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to plug this in the calculator, though, just to be safe. That's some fancy graphing I was doing with the Algebra 2 class. So I'm going to say 81 minus 58. And I get this stuff. Yep, 23 is what it was. So on the right-hand side, I got 23.
I got 24.
Now, what's this over here, though? So step 3 is I got to take, oops, what is wrong with this thing?
Wait, did you subtract?
I got to take, yes, what's your question?
Did you subtract 81 from 58?
Yeah, it's 23. 81 minus 58. Take square root from both sides. Okay? So, but I got to remember that this is a perfect square. So this perfect square is going to be x plus b over 2 squared, and set that equal to some number c. And I'm going to take the square root of both sides. In this particular case, c equals 23. So I'm going to take the square root of this, but when we take, this is a c. When I take the square root, remember I got to do the plus or minus thing. But over here I've got x. What's b over 2?
Negative 18 divided by 2.
Negative 18 divided by 2, which is what?
9 squared.
Well, we don't need to square it. We're going to say negative 9 here, and then put the square out here. Then we're going to take the square root of this whole thing. So that leaves me with x minus 9 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 23. What do we do next? Gotta get x by itself. How do I do that? Well, we're going to add 9. I think what you're saying is you're going to add or subtract to the 23, but you're getting one step ahead of me. So x then equals 9 plus or minus the square root of 23. And we're just going to stop there for now. Now you might think to yourself, well, how do I double check this? Well, we could still double check this on our calculator. So if I have this bad boy over here and I graph this, I go to y equals, I'm going to have to clear out some stuff because I was doing some graphing and I got to fix a few things.
Well, man,
So I'm going to plug in the original equation. No, I was teaching inequalities to Algebra 2 earlier today. Get on my level. So x squared minus 18x plus 58. And I'm going to graph this. And I don't know, I'll probably have to zoom out. Yep. So I'm going to do standard zoom or zoom fit. So I'm going to change the window here from 0 to 25 maybe. No, we could do 20. And then my y minimum is just going to be like -5. And my y maximum is going to be like 10. Stop, I'm recording. So now watch this. If I hit second trace, right? No, I just want to hit trace, actually. I'm sorry. Let me pull up the screen so you can see this a little better. I'll make it bigger so you can see what I'm doing. So here's my equation. If I hit the trace button and I plug in 9 plus the square root of 23, right? That's one of my solutions. Where do you think that thing's going to land? Yeah, it should land right here. And what should the y value equal?
32.
No. What was the original equation set equal to? Huh?
0.
Yeah, this equation was set equal to 0, and now that's why all this fancy math works. So when I solve for x, what I'm saying is this value plugged into my equation should equal 0. So let's look and see if we're right. So when I hit enter, guess what y is? That's e to the negative 11. That means 1 decimal and then 10 zeros and then a 1. Now this is an approximation that the calculator does, but basically it's rounding it. So this is a rounding error, but that's basically 0. Okay? Now what do you think happens if I plug in 9 minus the square root of 23? Yeah, now it's going to go over here. 9 smack dab in the middle, by the way. And that one rounded right to 0. Okay? So let me take a screenshot of that because it's really important that you guys figure that out. I don't know where I'm going to put it. So these 2 points, this point right here, that is x equals 9 plus the square root of 23, comma, y equals 0. Then this bad boy way over here is x equals 9 minus the square root of 23. And that's right here. And guess what the y value equals? Y equals 0. So now if you're, now listen, this is going to look weird, but you could write it like this. 9 minus the square root of 23, comma 0. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's 9 plus. I wrote these backwards. This is plus. Oh, jeez. This is minus. Well, I'm a human being. I just want to show you guys it's okay to make mistakes. I am still Tom Adams. You notice I caught the mistake before I finished the problem. Okay. All right. And that is how it's done, completing the square.